Hey everyone, my name is Lacy Lennon. I have been in porn for about 3 years now, and I am your 2020 Penthouse Pet of the Year. You guys might all know me from some of your guys' favorite sites. We have Brazzers, we have Vixen, we have Cherry Pimps, we have Gamma, we have Wicked, we have Penthouse of course, and even a little bit of Playboy. So I am ecstatic to start this interview so you guys can get to know me on a deeper level. And yeah, let's get this party started. This is very true. I did start watching porn. I don't like to give the exact age, but I was not quite 18 yet. And I also went even a little bit more old school. I really enjoyed the magazine era. I was all about the magazine era, especially those Playboy Playmates. I remember being young and sometimes people would be like, how'd you even get your hands on those? And I was like, everybody had a Playboy magazine. Like if you had grandparents or great grandparents, I'm like trying to think of what day and age that we're in now. If you had grandparents or anybody that grew up in like the 70s and 80s, I swear they all had a Playboy. And so growing up, especially like down in the South, you know, you didn't really like find people that were like super technologically savvy. They enjoyed books and magazines. So yeah, I would definitely say it piqued my interest at a really young age that I started not only, you know, watching porn and looking at porn, but it also created a weird passion inside of me. I didn't necessarily want to get into porn when I was younger. That was not it at all. What I saw was beautiful women. I saw women with huge breasts, huge asses, tiny little waists. They had pubic hair. Some of them even had armpit hair. And I thought it was the most miraculous thing on this planet. Because I looked at myself and I was a late developer. Like I'm now gonna be turning 25 in January. And oh my gosh, this sounds crazy. I'm like a quarter of the way there. Am I old? Am I a MILF yet? Dun, dun, dun. But well, I absolutely love these magazines. They made me feel empowered. You know, seeing these women, I didn't feel insecure or vulnerable or any sort of exploitation in any sort of way. What I saw and what I felt when I saw these women in these magazines was, wow, how do I become her? How do I feel that confident? How do I guess, become a woman? And that was always, I think that was like one of my biggest journeys in my life that I've recently have finally gotten over that hump, was my journey of becoming a woman who doesn't take shit, a woman who still does like to fuck. It's not like you're getting the attitude and then the prudeness that she's not down to fuck. It's just that, you know, it's on my own terms. And that was something that these women showed me, especially in the adult industry, was everything is on their own terms and the consent truly matters. So yeah, I absolutely was into the nudie magazines and watching porn way before I should have. And again, it's not what inspired me to get into porn, but it definitely allowed me to go onto a journey to again define my womanhood and what it truly means to be a woman who doesn't take shit, a woman where consent does matter, and somebody who is willing to have that uncomfortable conversation to be able to have a breakthrough. So yeah, that's where it all started. I know it's not as dirty and as naughty as people want it to be, but it comes from the heart. Oh, the opera. Everybody, I swear, the moment they hear that I sing, they put me on the spot, and if I can't do it right on the spot, they're like, you can't sing. And it is just the dandiest thing. I have always loved music, and for people that are new, I did grow up semi-religious, so I found myself in the churches all the time. I did not grow up with very much money, so the place where I got to sing was church, and they always welcomed me with open arms, which was amazing. And it was actually really positive, especially from like middle school, high school, and all the churches that I went to, is they didn't, you know, force anything down your throat. They were just like, just sing. They're like, just be here and just sing, because they loved listening to me. And so it was very, very, very supportive, and because I didn't really actually have all the support that I wanted from my family. It's actually pretty funny, because now if you talk to them, they're like, God damn it, kind of wish you ran off to New York and not LA. Because my family knows everything. I'm an open book. I love them. They know about all of my steps and my journeys. But yeah, so when I originally became an opera major, everyone was against it. I was a double major in college. I graduated a #1 in my class with like a 4.5 GPA. And so I was a double major over at the University of Reno, Nevada. And the double major was actually a secret, because my parents thought I was going to school as a biology major because I wanted to be pre-med. And little did they know I wanted to be an entertainer on the inside, and like I was dying. It was something I've always wanted on the inside. Again, that empowered woman and entertaining and the confidence and consent. And, you know, so for me, burlesque and Broadway was kind of like where my mental was driving me for the longest time. Until you realize those other industries are even, they're way crazier. I'm way safer here. Isn't that the craziest thing, fans? Like, I am way safer here than anywhere else. Is the dandiest thing. And that is why I chose the path of porn versus opera. I do love to sing. I'm gonna continue singing for everybody. Like, I'm never gonna stop. I find that I've lost it a little bit because I have found a lot of new other passions in my life that actually mean a lot more to me. And it's crazy. It's business, it's art, and I'm so lucky that I'm in a space where I get to combine all of it, and I get to show the entire world. Oh, the Moonlight Bunny Ranch. Rest in peace, Dennis Hoff, who I think to this very day that I would not be in the position that I am in life without him. He always told me, it's actually pretty funny, as like a business mindset. He said, it doesn't matter if you're pretty. He goes, it'll always be the girls who aren't pretty who will always make more, because they understand that they have to work a bit harder than the rest. And that meant a lot to me, because Dennis was like, you are a pretty girl. But he's also like, sometimes you have the mindset of a not pretty girl. And I'm like, oh. And so he's just like, so that, you know, sometimes can make it difficult for you. So he's just like, you need to work hard. You need to work harder than the rest. The Moonlight Bunny Ranch was probably one of my favorite experiences in the industry. And I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to be going back to specifically Moonlight Bunny Ranch, but I am planning in 2022 to go back to the brothel. So I'm very excited about that, because it's like my roots in the industry, and I lived and worked there for about 1.5 years. Yes, lived in-house. And when I say lived in-house, I would sleep in my lingerie with my heels hooked onto my feet. You didn't wear pumps, you wore heels with little straps on them, and you hear that little bell and you jump out of bed and you go run up in that lineup. And honestly, I miss it. Some people, they think it sounds terrifying and it sounds awful, and like, oh, they just pick you, and it's just like, the experience is so much more enjoyable and has so much more consent than people really think. So where did I get the name The Virginizer? I was one of the youngest girls that worked there when I worked there. I can't say that now. I don't know exactly who that they have there anymore, but I would just get client after client who was always a virgin. And honestly, I was honored. I was extremely honored that people were like, I want to lose my virginity with you. But the funniest thing to me was that people, they specifically picked me because I was a redhead, and they also picked me because of that. I guess I just always look like the one that got away. And they would tell me, oh, there's this girl in high school and she's who I wanted to lose my virginity to, but she was dating this guy and like I was too much of a loser and you look just like her. And I guess for some weird reason, she was always a redhead. And then I would also get it from the comic books that I bring people's comic book fantasies, to life. And yeah, just certain actresses. So I was really happy that I could like give them that very nostalgic moment. And then because I am human and because I'm not a diva or an asshole or a piece of shit, I still talk to these people. We would write letters, emails, and to this very day, even off of my OnlyFans, I still get plenty of my clients who I took their virginities and they tell me how I've changed their life, how that they have a girlfriend, they have a wife, or now that they even have a kid. And not only did I take that virginity from them, but took it from them, like the devil that is inside me. Yeah, but I got to teach them how to please a woman, how to be proactive in the bedroom, and how to be the partner that, their woman is looking for. And that's really important. It's not just one-sided sex. So I feel like I got the name De-Virginizer because I just had so many virgin clients on a daily, weekly basis. And I would really, honestly, I would change their life. And they also changed mine. Oh, the difference between set work and OnlyFans work, I would say definitely is the stress. So it's like when you are on somebody else's call sheet and you're on somebody else's dime, think about it that way. When I'm on a set, I am there and I am paid out and hired through a company. So in a way, it's just like one of kind of like the middlemen, it's just like I'm there as a performer and I'm there, to do a great job. But at the end of the day, the product's not mine. The idea was never mine. The idea to book me was also never mine. None of that was my idea. I'm just there as the performer. So it can be a little bit stressful because you're dealing with so many creative minds on a set and what that they're trying to create, and you're kind of just like this like little awkward being like, how do I fit in perfectly to make sure that today goes awesome? Whereas OnlyFans is really cool because you get to be that person. You are no longer the middleman. You're the middleman, but you're also the big man because you're going, this is the direction that I want to go, this is where I want the day to go, this is what I want to wear, this is my idea. And it's really nice because companies and directors can't read my mind. Hey, what does Lacy want to do today? It's also not about what does Lacy want to do today when I'm hired for a set. So it's really cool because when I am making OnlyFans content, it is about what do I want to do today? What kind of content do I really want to create for my fan base versus a company fan base? Because again, that's a really big difference. Just because, you have a niche and you're a performer and you're one thing, it doesn't mean that you can just be that one thing wherever you are. When you work for companies, you have to be moldable. You may need to act. You may need to be more gonzo, maybe more model, especially when it comes to the acting. And a lot of us that do more so of like the OnlyFans content creation, we're not putting in serious dialogues. But instead, we're just being really creative. We're just being very artsy and with the lighting and the moods and the outfits. And it's almost, I feel like OnlyFans is a bit more theatrical and theater, whereas the scene and set work is more like Hollywood cinematic movies is kind of the big difference. It's a bit more of dressing up, and then the other day, it's like it's down to business. Don't fuck this up because you're on somebody else's dime. When I'm on my own dime, I get to play around a little bit more. But overall, I mean, the quality of content can be roughly the same. OnlyFans, some people will do amateur. It's really great. Some people love amateur. And then we'll also have other videos of mine that are going to be as top tier as company quality, which is really awesome because it allows you to have that flavor, have that variety, whereas a certain site may need to stick with their certain niche. But overall, I love it. It's great. What does sexuality mean to me? I feel like that is honestly a very evolving answer, because what's beautiful about the time period that we're in 2021, is that people are finally talking about consent. For a very long time, I was being taken advantage of, I was being manipulated, I was being abused, and I was not in the industry, I had never even started in the industry, it was completely in civilian life, and I thought I was asexual for years. I really thought I was asexual, and because of the, circumstances and corners that I was put into, by my partners for, a very long time, and I kind of felt like I had no power or control. And so it's really amazing to me, and like I'm thankful for sex work, because sex work is where I got to find that consent, it's where I got to find that power, and it's where I got to find my sexuality again. And my sexuality really lies when I'm confident, when I feel beautiful, when I'm around people who make me laugh, when there's no competition. And the sexuality it's just wanting to make people feel good. Just make them smile, make them feel happy, whether that's holding their hand or a hug or maybe going 4 fingers deep. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, that's why I think it's an evolving answer, because I'm not even sure if I have fully found, my 100% sexuality yet. I know that I'm pansexual, so that means much love to the gay, bi, and trans community. I do not judge. I believe that love is blind. I judge people as if I were to close my eyes, and, how do I think about them when, you don't get to see any of the superficial. And for me, I think that brings like a whole new depth to my sexuality, of really trying to, I believe that it's like, I believe like within like kinetic, like healing, or maybe tantra, maybe they believe it's like the tantra, where you do like the in-sync breathing and everything. And I have found that my sexuality went from, just fucking like bunny rabbits and, putting the Hitachi on my clit, as hard as possible, and, yelling out my orgasms, whereas, sexuality today for me, I find myself to be much quieter. I find myself to be much more relaxed, much more focused, and, really taking the orgasms as far as I can fully taking them without, that way I'm not taking them for granted, basically. And so, yeah, for me, sexuality is consent, not lying to yourself about what feels good, and just putting yourself in really safe, non-toxic places, so you're able to live out your sexual fantasies and your kinks and your niches, and making sure that you're surrounding yourself with a partner who loves every inch of you on your worst or your best day. So I think that's what sexuality is. Kinda. Whew, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be done with those questions. Sometimes I feel so awkward. So now we get to do the best part of the interview, where we are gonna go ahead and take you guys on not only a 3-part, but a 5-part series. And we are now gonna get into what I know how to do best, which is content creating. And today we are the series is gonna be called Why Lacy Does Not Make a Great Housewife, but a fucking great porn star. And if you guys are looking to find me and you guys want to find these videos, you are going to go ahead and find them on my Twitter. It'll be at Miss Lacy Lennon for all trailers, previews, and links. You can go ahead and find me on Instagram. It'll be at It's Lacy Lennon.